Hello and welcome to the Temple of Tomes with your host, Indie Comics Jones. Today is I'm having trouble. September 7th, 2021. This is episode 404. Today's comic is Geiger. Comes in at a whopping $4.99 from Image Comics. This is number 6, and this is the final issue of the first arc on Geiger. And we got some news on this one, let me tell you. Okay, quick look at the cover. I believe what we're looking at is Junkyard Joe. His helmet, close up on his eye, is reflecting Geiger, who is going subatomic. Meltdown mode. Okay, so yeah, it's an okay cover. I think it's kind of interesting. But let's go ahead and get into this and talk about who worked on this. Jeff Johns and Gary Franks have been the creators for this, with Brad Anderson being the colorist. Rob Lai, I guess Lai is the letterer. And this comes out from Mad Ghost, the division of our Image Comics. Now, this comic to me was a little bit uneven. I'm still recommending it. It'll get the good excavating seal of approval, but it brought in a lot of extra stuff, and by the time I got to the end, I believe I kind of understand this. We go back in time, there's some storytelling going through the ages here, and it doesn't seem to really make sense to what's going on with the current story. As you have these two people at a campground or a campsite in the dystopian future, talking about all that's gone wrong in the past. And I guess these guys have been talking about this through the last 5 issues, cumulating into this issue here. Art is good all the way through. The writing is good. It's a little confusing at times. Gets a little hokey and sentimental at other times. It didn't really have that big of an emotional impact on me, as it was more seemed like it was sappy than anything else. And I'm looking at this now, and it's not really lining up well. I can see pages for the future kind of sticking out here. So I'm not sure what's going on with that. But it's actually good stock. It is for $4.99, 42 pages. 2 of the pages are blank. I'll give you like that. The image trope of the blank pages is back, but they actually do them in yellow in this issue. So basically, this is the climactic ending. There's a lot that goes on in this issue. It is action-packed. I think some of the fights to me were a little bit not super inspired. We have the king from Camelot trying to hunt down our friend Geiger, who's got the 2 kids with him. He's trying to save them. Geiger has to take on, he went to NORAD. NORAD's playing games. They have the President Griffin there of the United States, but he's playing all sorts of games. It's also found out that, I believe his name is Henry, has got leukemia, and they don't want to spend their resources to heal him. They plan on killing him, but they want the girl for DNA and other types of experiments, and they're going to let her live while they're going to get rid of Tyreek Geiger. Now they have their own secret weapon to confront Tyreek Geiger as well, because their own soldiers are just getting ripped to shreds by him and his 2-headed dog, as you can see here. So they unleash their secret weapon, and there he is. Ta-da! Junkyard Joe. So he tries to reason with him. It's hard to tell if he's I think he's part man, part machine, as far as we can tell. And they go out each other, and it turns out he seems to be absorbing Geiger's energies here, and that's just making him stronger as well. Even if Geiger melts the metallic helmet skin on him, he still continues to fight on. And he has broken one of Geiger's controlling rods. As you can see, it cracks it there. The other one is sort of lost and later on broken as well. And you can see there's mayhem, there's gas tank explosions, all kinds of things going on. finally he's able to um, take down Junkyard Joe using one of his control rods as the final death blow. And as you can see, the kids have got their suits on. They're escaping with Geiger. And it turns out Geiger can kind of like, there's no way to control him now, except it seems the kids have some kind of calming effect on him. And they can make him calm down. And here we see one of the boys that was also kind of at NORAD, waving them goodbye. He's happy to see that they were able to get out alive. And you can see Geiger starts to melt down again, but just by the touch of the child, that puts him under control. Then he realizes he can control it without the controlling rods. So this comes to a big showdown between himself and the King of Camelot and his group. So after a brief skirmish where he takes out a couple of the knights, he takes off himself with the kids and tells them, I'll meet you in 1 week in Boulder City at sunset. And the King of Camelot just says, activate all the guards, all the knights. I think, what does he call them? The nuclear knights. So they are going to have this big showdown in 1 week. Meanwhile, Geiger takes the kids to Copper Canyon, Mexico, where there's a facility that can help the young boy heal himself from the leukemia he has. And Geiger takes off after dropping him off and confronts all the nuclear knights in some one big massive attack. This is going to take place in Boulder City, and apparently they have all these, looks like they have rings of, I don't know if those are containers or nuclear waste or something like that. So it's all there. And Geiger decides to go subatomic and wipe out the evil king and his knights. And this is where we get the image trope, the blank page. At least it's in yellow this time instead of black. And we see from a distance what happens as the dog looks on. So they've told the story here. They're still back at the campfire. And apparently things have progressed back in Vegas. The king's mother is now back in charge. And they have this round table with all the other casino leads in this walled city that they are holding out. And they have decided to strike an alliance with NORAD themselves. And this is where Volume 1 ends. We don't know what kind of agreement they're going to make, but at this time, apparently Geiger is still alive and they want him badly for their own experiments. Now, what's interesting about this is it's almost like Jeff Johns has taken a note out of Todd McFarlane's playbook here. He's creating a Geiger Universe. So look, coming in 2021, we have Junkyard Joe. If you can really see him that well, I'll start down here. Exploding from the pages of Geiger. There you go, we got this. The most offbeat, unnamed soldier of them all. Then we have this unnamed timeline. And this is what they spoke about at the beginning of this issue, all these different events and different people. And I'm thinking Jeff Johns is probably may indeed tell stories about some of these characters, like the Redcoat, the Northerner, the Monster, Junkyard Joe, American Widow X. I mean, he's doing Junkyard Joe for sure. The First Ghost, the Unknown War, and of course, bring back Geiger. And we get this, interesting enough, 80-page giant Geiger, kind of in the same style of the DC look, and it's got these different people in it. We know Barney, he's the two-headed dog, and we know Junkyard Joe here. So it looks like they have these different stories, maybe 6 stories here. And the trade for the first 6 issues, Volume 1, goes on sale November 4th as well. So I don't know if this is going to be different or the same, but it does give it a number 1 there. So I'm thinking this is an 80-page giant, and this is the trade for the first 6 Geiger comics. So that's pretty interesting. It's like I said, he's kind of looks like he's doing his own Spawn universe with Geiger here. Okay, so Stargirl DC Comics, it's the next episode coming out August 7th. Obviously, it's probably out by now in the CW. So this does get a recommend. A lot of people have been liking this comic a lot. I thought this issue was a little bit uneven, but it was 42 pages for $4.99. I thought it was well worth the art, and it kind of completed the story, the arc. Not the best storytelling, I don't think, but it seems like it's a pretty good setup for what might come in the future. So thanks for stopping by and taking time to see this review. As always, please like, please subscribe if you haven't, please leave comments. We'll see you next time at the Temple of Tomes. I'm going to be very busy over these next couple weeks, so it's going to be really tough for me to get these reviews out, but I appreciate you stopping by. I'm in the midst of, I just went into escrow on a new house in another state, so there's that. We got to sell this one, get it all fixed up, and it's killing me. So, everybody, take care. This is Indie Comics Jones from the Temple of Tomes bidding you adieu.